Actress-comedian Amy Schumer is still basking in the unexpected success of her comedy Trainwreck from earlier this year, which made around $138 million worldwide. According to a story in The Hollywood Reporter, Schumer made around $300,000 for her role in the film. And now it looks like she's getting a massive raise for her next project. According to the report, Schumer is going to be making between $4 and $5 million to star in a 20th Century Fox mother-daughter comedy to be directed by Jonathan Levine, who helmed such films as Warm Bodies and 50-50. The story also claims that Schumer originally asked for $10 million for the film, which Fox rejected. Schnepp, do you buy or sell that Fox should have given Schumer the $10 million she asked for?
I'm going to say Fox should have given her the money. So I buy that Fox should have given her the $10 million, that they were able to get her for $5 million. Look, $5 million is a lot of money. But if you look at Amy Schumer, who was paid $300,000 and then kind of made the studio $130 million, you know, for whatever that film Trainwreck cost, maybe it cost $30 million, $40 million. It's quite a high profit, you know, zone for the star of the film. So if she's going to star in this next film, she's kind of asking for what she deserves. And I feel like maybe her second film out, they're like, look, we're not going to give you $10 million. What about $5 million? Then the third film will give you $10 million. So it's probably one of those deals where you always have to do negotiations, but she's definitely worth $30 million. So I think Amy Schumer is incredible. So
I sell it hard. I'm sorry. Like, does she deserve a pay raise from $300,000? Yes, absolutely she does. I don't even know that I would have given her $5 million. I'm sorry, you've done one movie. You did one movie that made $138 million, maybe cleared about $30 or $40 million for the studio. Awesome. Well done. One movie. $10 million? Put Amy Schumer into that league of the elite in the top 5 highest paid actresses in the business off one movie that only made $138 million?
Sure.
Oh my God, that's insane. That's absolutely insane. You've got to have a little bit better of a track record than one movie. Maybe that one movie made $500 million worldwide. Maybe if that one movie, then you can talk about $5, $6, $7, $8 million for the second one. But by a lot of movie standards, $138 million would have been considered a flop. Now, unfortunately, this is a comedy. Yeah, it's a comedy, but I mean, it was one. Let's see if people actually want to go back and see you again. Let's see a little bit of a track record. Right. Do you earn the raise? Absolutely. I would have 10 times to raise to maybe 3, maybe 4. I think 5 is high, but I understand maybe going with 5. Maybe they went as high as 5 to invest, to show a little bit of good faith in her. So if it does hit with the second one, right, then they have a good relationship.
Or it could be 5 with some back end.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe they didn't discuss what the final deal is. I see what you're saying, but in the same breath, that's her very first movie, and she broke out with such an incredible amount of money. Look at The Mask, or look at what was Jim Carrey's very first movie.
Ace Ventura.
Ace Ventura.
How much did that make?
I can look
And then
that
how
up.
much did he command for his next movie? $20 million. And that was like 20 years ago. So I think, you know, women are trying to get what men get. And I think they should. When they make a studio $130 million, and they're going to open the second film,
but she
they
didn't make
deserve
them
it.
$130 million. She made them maybe $30 million after marketing and the theaters keep their cut.
They made
and the
$30 million on her very first movie. And guess what? All those people who are going to see that movie that she's in the second movie are going to go because of her. Because she's a big name now. She wasn't even a big name when Trainwreck came out. She was a star of her own TV show. Now she's a movie star.
$10 million, though, that's putting you into the Angelina Jolie money range. That's putting you into the Jeremy Renners. That's putting you into the Bradley Coopers. That's putting you. I don't see after one movie. It's just not enough to me.
I sell it big. I think that $10 million is insane. I think that the thing with. The other thing with this first movie, Trainwreck, it had the Apatow name with it. It had, LeBron James was in there, and yes, now he's a big actor, but he's a name, and he had all these. She had a lot of talent to get the movie in there. Now, look, I was a person that didn't want to see the movie Trainwreck, and I actually really enjoyed it. And I thought, and I'm not a big fan.
I really liked it
and
too.
I'm not a big fan
really
of hers,
good.
and I thought she was great in the movie, and I thought the writing was great. But I also agree with John's sentiments that it's after your first movie, it's like, okay, you delivered. You delivered big. So let's give you, and I agree with what you said, Schnepp. It's like, let's give you this 5 here, and then let's see what we can do on our second project, or on this next project. Let's see what you can do. And the fact that she's working with Levine, I think, is a good move for her, because I like she can dramatically act as well too.
Right.
Because she showed that in Trainwreck. I want to see that kind of mixture from her. But to give someone $10 million, because if it fails on the second shot, it's a big loss for the studio as well too, because the movie 133 or 130, whatever, how much money the movie made, Trainwreck, it wasn't enough to, I think, because Ace Ventura, if we're going to compare those two movies, that was a movie where Jim Carrey just kind of came from In Living Color, didn't have an appetite, didn't have anyone, and just blew up in this one particular character and was a big comedic force. I also feel that Amy Schumer could become a Dane Cook if she's not careful. Because Dane Cook started getting all this money and then just started doing all these movies, and then he doesn't have any deals anymore too, because she's overexposed too. Because that's the one thing, female or not female, you have the chance of getting overexposed as comedians for sure. Oh, this is the next funny person. Look. Right. She wasn't that great on Saturday Night Live, by the way. She just and that wasn't her.
No, she actually wasn't very good on Saturday Night.
No,
I'm a big fan of hers, but
me too. That wasn't her thing, so that could be a little risky too. If you're watching, well, they didn't really love her on Saturday Night Live, and then they're putting her everywhere. So I would say, I think 5 is generous. I think 5 is to say, what can you do now? If this movie delivers the same way Trainwreck did, and then you can get into the conversation about $8-10 million a movie. And to be fair, in the reports that she's asking for $10 million, it's her team and her agents and everything too, to where it's saying, look, Amy, we're going to try to get you this because of all the exposure you have too, and good for them for trying.
I have no problem with a star asking for it. I got no problem. Ask for $20 million and see what you get. I mean, it's not up to you what they say yes to. Just make the ask. Yeah. I have zero problem with her asking for $10 million. I would have a problem with Fox saying yes to $10 million, but whatever.
Well, I mean, you end up getting an Avengers Infinity Wars where $500 million is the budget for each of the films, and of that $500 million, $250 million is paying the stars. That's how much just to get the cast together.
Right.
They've got
but
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Of the cast.
No, it's insane. It's an insane cast. So I'm just saying, when you have one person who's asking for that amount of money that possibly could make another $150 million off the next comedy, I don't think it's that much of an ask.
But that's the thing, though. Is
it's a risk, though.
Right. There's less of a risk with the Avengers here, because I know that they're probably they're going to make that back. With
they have
Amy,
a track record.
Right. Now, if that's why I'm saying, if Amy Schumer now on her second movie, this movie crushes, then her whole team has, look what we've done. Twice.
Right.
Yeah.
Twice now we've done this. We deserve $10 million. That's a better argument of saying, because the studio can go, well, look, a lot of people have done really well in their first movie. Here's $5 million. Do it again.
I agree. I'm sure they did something with 5 and then some back end.
Yeah.
I just think there's a saying that goes for both the good and the bad. Once is a fluke, twice is a pattern. That means if you had a really bad day, fluke. If you had 2 in a row, pattern. And I think the same thing. I think the studios want to be very careful about what kind of deals they start handing out, especially after one movie. That Chris Hemsworth's first lead film was Thor. That made almost $400 million as opposed to whatever. So, and even then they were a little bit apprehensive. Let's see how the people still like you moving forward. And now he's getting paid because
he had Black Hat and some other things.
Right,
it didn't do well.
Oh yeah, exactly.
And comedies are tough. Like how many great comedies can you from the last 5 years can you count out? Maybe 5. I mean, there's how many great comedies. It's hard to bank on comedy stars right now.